I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Village Board for January 22nd, 2019. Please join us for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Corey, could you call the roll, please?
President DeSimone,
Here.
Trustee Carmona,
Here.
Trustee Franz,
Here.
Trustee Lomax,
Here.
Trustee Panicola,
Here.
Trustee Perez.
Here.
Trustee Jaworska is absent. That is 6. We have a quorum.
We will now open the public hearing on a proposed annexation agreement between the Village of Bensonville for properties located at 4N 385 Hawthorne Avenue, 4N 323 Hawthorne Avenue, 16W 603 White Pines Road, 4N 240 Church Road, 4N 252 Church Road, 4N 324 Church Road, and 4N 386 Church Road. If any persons would like to speak during the public hearing on the annexation agreement, I ask that you please approach the podium and state your name and comment.
Just want to reiterate that point. This is only for the voluntary annexation items on tonight's agenda. If you have any other items, please reserve those for item 5, which is public comment.
Corey?
The forms I have are for public comment, so I'm not sure if you want me to call them now.
Is there anybody here to speak on the annexation?
Yeah, sorry.
So, okay.
Good evening, I'm Gina Mellenthin, 4N150 Pine Grove, Bensonville, Illinois. If I may, I'd like to refer to a document that was written by the Village of Bensonville for White Pines Community dated October 27th, 2015, stating the following. By a 1945 agreement between the developer of White Pines subdivision, Mr. Branniger, and the Village of Bensonville, the water system would remain an asset of the White Pines area until such time that the White Pines subdivision would be annexed into the Village of Bensonville. To this date, the White Pines subdivision has not been annexed to the Village of Bensonville. Therefore, White Pines retains ownership of the said system. Bensonville does not own the system. Bensonville does, however, sell water to residents in White Pines utilizing White Pines mains. That being said, we feel that it's only fair that if the village is going to incorporate more homes and service them through the unincorporated mains, they should have to pay a fee per home per month, as we the residents have paid for the system in its entirety. I am not certain if there is going to be a vote here this evening, but I just wanted to make your new trustees and council aware of the document so that you make a educated decision. And just, I don't know if anybody knows about this. There are a few new people on the board. If you could, look at the document. Again, we have paid for that system, and if we're going to use the system to get the water to incorporated homes, I think there should be a fee for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone to speak on the annexation?
I'm Paul DeMichael. I live at 17W275 Rodeck Lane. I'm talking about the unintended consequences of the annexation. Fire Protection District 1 represents fire protection in the unincorporated areas of Elmhurst and Bensonville. We have 856 parcels in our fire district. Our revenue from last year was only $240,058. We have a very low tax rate, and we keep it lean. The parcels that are being talked about tonight to be annexed represent a loss of assessed value of $582,200. We are opposed to any loss of revenue. Passage of the ordinance will trigger a filing in the 18th Judicial Court. We will be looking forward to your discussion on the ordinance this evening with great interest. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gary Gardner, 17W 131 Woodland Avenue. Mr. President, when you first ran for village trustee a few years ago and needed support, the White Pines residents gave you plenty. Can you remember the promise that you made us? Never to force annex White Pines. 2 years later, when you ran for village president and looked for support, White Pines residents were there for you once again. You repeatedly made us the same promise. I will never force annex White Pines. You were our guy, or so we thought. Many of us thought, at the very least, that Frank II would make us a much better offer than Frank I, but that is not the case at all. The proposals and conditions you offer are far worse than the last administration made us back in 2014, and your outrageous surcharge proposal is outright extortion. With so many of our residents retired and living on fixed incomes, either one of your proposals will create an economic hardship and force some to move. A few months ago in your presidential comments, you stated that the village is subsidizing the White Pines water system, and also suggested it was only a small group of radicals that were opposed to annexation. You, sir, were mistaken on both accounts. The village of Bensenville makes a very large sum of money every year by selling water to White Pines residents through a water system that the village of Bensenville doesn't even own. Only a very small percentage of this revenue has ever been spent on our annual repairs. Secondly, regarding that small group of radicals, almost 90% of White Pines residents prefer to remain unincorporated, and most of them are willing to pay a little more to do so. It was poor judgment on your part to negotiate your proposals with a small group pretending to represent the White Pines residents. Your divide and conquer tactic is disgraceful and will ruin long-standing friendships with neighbors in our community. But with less than 10% signing up, your economic coercion must be a big disappointment. Surely there must be a better way to resolve this conundrum. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Brian Jefferson, 16 West 680 Red Oak Avenue, Bensenville, White Pines. I've been looking at the stats that you guys have online, gauging the water mains. You want to run 8 to 12 inches, which is overkill for a residential area. Roughly 268 homes and about 260 acres. And, I mean, we're surrounded by, forgive me, I got a cold. You got O'Hare Airport butt up against this town. You got one of the biggest train yards in the country. You got access to 294, County Line Road, York Road, 390, Irving Park Road, 83 by me, which is almost 8 lanes, Grand Avenue, Lake Street, and 290. My question to you is, I realize there's a tax base you're trying to gauge to subsidize the revenues that you have lost to O'Hare Airport. And I want to know what else is behind this, because I know you want an IEPA loan. You need an X amount of residents in an area to accommodate that. What is the money going to be used for? And this basically, from what I understand, will give you uncontrolled taxation, where you can raise the taxes on the people high enough that they wouldn't be able to pay it. They could lose their homes, especially people with mortgages. I like the expression on your face. I want to just the answer to this question. I don't want to hear a filibuster, and I don't want basically a corporate double talk. My question probably would go to Evan. What is the real reason behind your forced annexation? You're coming at this town, the White Pines like you have a deadline to meet. And I'd really like to know what the real reason is. With 260 acres, that's a pretty good chunk of area where you could put up hotels or businesses and everything else, gain full access to 83, especially 290 Grand Avenue and Lake Street. This town has basically one hotel, and you're 18 miles from the city of Chicago. My hypothesis is that you are trying to turn our area into something along the lines of a small Rosemont. I would appreciate an answer.
This is a public hearing. I'm not responding to direct questions. This is just simply to put your testimony in.
Okay, that's my testimony. But gauging by what I just heard you say,
My assistant's in the back. If you'd like to make a meeting with me, I'd be happy to sit down with you. Thank you.
okay.
Is there anyone else here for the annexation portion of the meeting? At this time, this will conclude the public hearing on the village's proposed annexation agreement. We will proceed with the regular order of business. So at this time, we will move to public comment. Does anyone wish to address the board? If so, please approach the podium and state your name. Corey?
We have four. First, we have Gina Millithan.
Okay.
Second, we have Paul DeMichael.
I'm Paul DeMichael. The information hasn't changed. I actually believe in rewarding good behavior when I see it. So I'm extending some kudos to the village. Last week, the village manager, the public works director, and the mayor met with the Downtown Business Alliance. I think this is a step in the right direction, and I look forward to working with them in a cooperative way, and thank you for coming. The second thing I wanted to do is I found paper in my house because I collect a lot of it, and this was an excerpt from something that they gave me in 2013. It said, it starts out with the big question, and it says, I also wanted to set the record straight on an issue that our supporters and the voters of Bensenville deserve to know. The issue in the question is, why did I, as a sitting trustee, vote to approve contracts and payments and expenses that we all now know that are way out of line with villages of similar size and demographic makeup as the village of Bensenville? The answer is both simple and complex. The simple explanation is that the entire board of trustees were never told the entire truth from the beginning of the administration. The complex explanation is the manner in which we were told a combination of half-truths and an orchestrated method of assuring that all information and paperwork that was presented to the board was thoroughly vetted and checked with village staff and the village attorney, along with the village president. I, along with the entire board, trusted this system and were assured it was always in the best interest of the taxpayer and voted accordingly. As time went by, I started to have reservations about many of the items presented to the board for approval. I started to ask questions, and it soon became apparent that the answers were not forthcoming. I was stonewalled and eventually treated as an outsider, not a team player, as I was repeatedly called when I started to vote against the grain.
Next, we have Gary Gardner. I read mine already, thank you. And last, we have Brian Jefferson.
Read mine already.
That concludes public comment.
Thank you. Yes.
All right, this time, we will conclude the public comment. Moving on, is there a motion to approve the minutes from the January 8th, 2019 Village Board meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second?
Are there any modifications to the minutes? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries and the minutes are approved. The next item of business is to approve the warrant in the amount of $2,321,783.02, Is there a motion to approve the warrant?
Yep.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on the warrant? Please call the roll.
Trustee Carmona?
Yes.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Panicola?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
That's 5, the motion carries.
Motion carries and the warrant is now approved. Would the deputy village clerk please read the ordinances and resolutions on the consent agenda that were discussed at the committee of the whole meeting?
Number 1, resolution authorizing the closeout of the motor fuel tax funds to pay for roadway-related general maintenance in the amount of $145,275.44 from January 1, 2018 to December 31, 2018. Number 2, resolution authorizing the execution of a resolution appropriating the use of MFT funds to pay for roadway-related general maintenance in the amount of $400,000 from January 1, 2019 to December 31, 2019. Number 3, resolution approving a purchase order to purchase various computer equipment with CDWG in the not-to-exceed amount of $8,825.22. Number 4, ordinance amending Title 5, Traffic and Motor Vehicles, Chapter 2, Stopping, Standing, or Parking, Section 13, to update parking restrictions on Tower Lane. Number 5, ordinance approving the annexation of 11825 Franklin Avenue to the Village of Bensonville. Number 6, ordinance annexing 4N385 Hawthorne Avenue, 4N323 Hawthorne Avenue, 16W603 White Pine Road, 4N240 Church Road, 4N252 Church Road, 4N324 Church Road, and 4N386 Church Road into the Village of Bensonville.
Is there a motion to approve the 6 resolutions and ordinances listed on the consent agenda and as read by the deputy clerk?
So
You have a
moved.
motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Trustee Carmona?
Yes.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Panicola?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
That's 5, the motion carries.
The motion carries and the items on the consent agenda are now approved. Moving on is, under recreation, we have a resolution authorizing the execution of ice arena and facility usage license agreement between U.S. Figure Skating and the Village of Bensonville. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
You have a motion.
Do I have a second on the motion?
Second.
There
Mr.
being a
Fenner?
motion and a second, is there any discussion?
Sorry. Mr. Fenner, my apologies.
Yeah, this is the first of 2 agreements put forth tonight. This is a United States Figure Skating Association Midwest Regional Camp that takes place. The dates that it will be at the Edge are Friday, July 19th to Sunday, July 24th. For us, that's a big weekend. In the summertime, it's very difficult to sell ice, especially over the weekends, and we're very happy to host this Midwest Synchronized Skating Camp. It's gonna bring in a total of $10,000 in revenue over the weekend, and it will have 100 coaches as well as 160 participants in this camp.
Any questions? Please call the roll.
Trustee Carmona?
Yes.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Panicola?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
That's 5.
The motion carries and the resolution is approved. Number 2 is a resolution authorizing the execution of a facility rental use agreement between ISI District 8 and the Village of Bensonville. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
There being a motion and a second, is there any discussion?
Yes, the second agreement is with the ISI District 8. District 8 consists of 20 local arenas or figure skating programs that represent those arenas. This is their local championships that take place. The timing is perfect for us. It starts exactly 1 day after the high school state championships finish up over at the Edge. And you may not know this, but the final 2 weeks of March are also challenging weeks to sell the ice before the spring contracts kick in. So again, it's a great fit at the Edge. This event is gonna bring in just over $9,000 in revenue over the 3 days.
Any questions from the board?
What is the date of that, Todd?
It's March 15th to the 17th, Friday through Sunday.
Any other questions?
No.
Please call the roll.
Trustee Carmona?
Yes.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Panicola?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
That's 5.
The motion carries and the resolution is approved. Moving on to presidential remarks. I have a few. I want to thank Public Works for their hard work and fantastic plowing this weekend with the roads and the conditions that we had to endure. Village Hall received many compliments and positive feedback from our residents, so Joe, thank you and everybody over at Public Works. Also, a reminder with the Arctic Chill fast approaching, I just want to remind you of the local warming centers within the village, which are located at the library, the Deer Grove Leisure Center, Village Hall during hours of operation. So please, just go to the village website for more information. We are also continuing to sign up seniors for the Ride DuPage program. So please call Public Works to sign up and to receive more information. Also, I want to start early on this one. Honor Flight. We're hosting Honor Flight again this year, March 2nd, I believe. March 2nd. So it's for a great cause. It's to, we hosted, this is like our 8th year now? 6th year? Year number 8. So it's always a good turnout in honor of all of our war heroes, veterans. I mean, it's a great thing. If you haven't been there, come out to that. That's all I have for presidential remarks. Evan?
Yes, I just have one. It's in regards to our senior snowplow program. It's been a great success so far this year, but we are unfortunately approaching our cap of 100 participants, 100 households in town. So once we hit that 100 cap, we're going to have to start putting people on a wait list probably for next year. Just want to make everyone aware of that. If you have any questions, feel free to call Public Works 630-350-3435.
Is there any village attorney's report?
Mr. President, I have a report.
Is there any unfinished business to come before the board tonight? Is there any new business to come before the board tonight? I understand there's a need for executive session to discuss litigation under 5 ILCS 120/2C11. So is there a motion to enter into executive session to discuss this litigation?
Yes, motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Trustee Carmona?
Yes.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Panicola?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
That's 5.
The motion carries and the board will enter into executive session. I would also like to advise the public that no final action will be taken when the board returns from executive session. We have now returned from executive session. Village Clerk, would you please call the roll? Or Corey, I'm sorry, would you call the roll?
President DeSimone?
Here.
Trustee Carmona?
Here.
Trustee Franz?
Here.
Trustee Lomax?
Here.
Trustee Panicola?
Here.
Trustee Perez?
Here.
Trustee Jaworska remains absent. That is 6. We have a quorum.
Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
You have a motion?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.